Lieutenant Commander Adam Carter looked out the viewport of the small shuttle. The massive alien ship called Concordance floated in space before him. It was at least 20 times bigger than any ship humans had built. Its surface glowed with strange blue lights. "Ready for this?" asked Ambassador Eleanor Wright. She smoothed her blue uniform and checked her tablet one last time. "As ready as I'll ever be for first contact with a galactic government," Carter replied. The year was 2157. Humans had spread to 3 star systems. They had built colonies on 12 planets. Life was good. Humanity was growing stronger every day. Then the aliens came. The message had arrived 3 weeks ago. A group called the Galactic Council wanted to meet with Earth's leaders. They said they governed 27 alien species across hundreds of star systems. They wanted to welcome humanity to the galactic community. Now Carter and Wright sat in the shuttle as it docked with the massive alien ship. They were the first humans to meet the council face to face. "Remember," Wright said quietly, "we're here to learn and establish friendly relations. Let me do the talking." Carter nodded. As head of security for this mission, he hoped his services wouldn't be needed. The shuttle door opened with a soft hiss. 2 tall, thin aliens waited in the docking bay. They had gray skin and 4 arms. Their eyes were large and completely black. "Welcome to the Concordance," one said in perfect English. "I am Grell, assistant to High Administrator Clavor. Please follow me." Carter and Wright followed the aliens through long hallways. Carter noticed many different types of aliens working throughout the ship. Some looked almost like humans. Others were so strange he could hardly believe they were alive. After walking for 10 minutes, they reached a large door. It slid open to reveal a circular room with a round table. 3 aliens sat at the table. The one in the middle looked like a large insect with a hard blue shell. This was clearly the leader. Ambassador Wright, Lieutenant Commander Carter, the insect-like alien said, "I am High Administrator Clavor of the Thraxi. Welcome to the Galactic Council." Carter and Wright sat in the offered chairs. Wright smiled and began her prepared speech. "On behalf of Earth and all human colonies, we thank you for this historic meeting. We look forward to peaceful relations and cultural exchange with the Council and its member species." Clavor's mouth parts clicked together. Yes, we are also pleased to welcome humans to the galactic community. You have progressed quickly for such a young species. Your technology is impressive." Wright nodded. "Thank you. We are eager to learn from the Council's wisdom and experience." "Excellent," said Clavor. "Then let us discuss the terms of your entry into the Council." Carter tensed. Something in the alien's tone had changed. "Terms?" Wright asked carefully. "Of course," Clavor said. "All new spacefaring races must pay tribute to join the Council. This is our way." "What kind of tribute?" Wright asked. "Nothing unreasonable," Clavor answered. "Merely 20% of all human resources and production for the next 50 Earth years. This includes minerals, food, technology, and labor forces." Carter couldn't hide his surprise. Wright kept her diplomat's face smooth, but he saw her hands tighten on her tablet. "That seems quite high," Wright said calmly. "Perhaps we could discuss a more balanced arrangement? A fair trade agreement would benefit both sides." The room grew very quiet. Clavor's black eyes stared at Wright. "You misunderstand, Ambassador," Clavor said coldly. "This is not a negotiation. The tribute is mandatory, not optional. All species pay it." Wright sat up straighter. "I'm afraid Earth must respectfully decline this arrangement. We are open to fair trade, cultural exchange, and even mutual defense treaties, but we cannot agree to a one-sided tribute system." The 3 council members looked at each other. Carter saw something like shock in their alien faces. "You decline?" Clavor sounded like he could not believe what he was hearing. "We do," Wright said firmly. Clavor's shell changed color, darkening to a deep blue. "That is most unfortunate. No species has refused tribute in over 300 years. There's always a first," Carter said before he could stop himself. Clavor ignored him. You have 1 Earth month to reconsider your position. After that, there will be unfortunate consequences. This meeting is over. The United Nations Security Council room was packed. Every seat was filled. The air felt heavy with worry. On the large screen at the front of the room, Ambassador Wright finished explaining the Council's demand for tribute. 20% of everything we produce. For 50 years, she said. That was their only offer. Admiral Samantha Hayes stood up. She was the head of Earth's Space Navy. Her face was serious as she looked around the room. We have 37 ships ready for combat. The aliens have thousands. If they attack, we cannot win a direct fight. The room grew quiet. Then Dr. Gregory Martinez walked to the front. He carried a tablet with charts and numbers. I've studied. What would happen if we gave up 20% of our resources, he said. The results are very bad. Food would run short. Our economy would crash. Millions would lose their jobs. Some colonies would have to be abandoned. President Laura Wilson rubbed her eyes. So we can't fight them and we can't pay them. What options do we have? We could try to negotiate again, Wright suggested. Offer a smaller tribute? No, said a voice from the back. It was Intelligence Officer Olivia Daniels. She walked to the front of the room, her face grim. For the past week, I've been studying the Galactic Council's history. I found a pattern, she said. She put her own data on the screen. Every species that refused to pay tribute suffered strange internal conflicts within months. Rebellions, civil wars, terrorist attacks. Then, weakened by fighting among themselves, they eventually agreed to pay. Are you saying the Council creates these conflicts? President Wilson asked. Yes, Daniel said. I believe they have a secret group. Some aliens I interviewed called them the Pacification Corps. They specialize in making species fight each other until they're too weak to resist the Council. Admiral Hayes leaned forward. Do we have proof? Not solid proof, but too many coincidences to ignore, Daniels replied. The room was silent again as everyone thought about this information. We should make a counteroffer, Wright said finally. Fair trade, not tribute. Show them we want peace. And if they refuse, asked Hayes. Then we prepare for both war and sabotage, President Wilson said firmly. We will not pay tribute. The vote was unanimous. Earth would refuse to pay. 3 weeks later, Admiral Hayes called an emergency meeting. Her face was tense as she activated the large screen. Long-range sensors have detected multiple Council ships entering our solar system, she said. She pointed to blinking dots on the display. They're heading toward Neptune. Neptune? President Wilson looked confused. Why not? Earth? The Neptune mining colony, Daniels said. 3,000 civilians, minimal defenses. They're making a statement, Hayes said, showing us they can hit us anywhere. Our ships can't get there in time, Wright said. No, they can't, Hayes agreed. But all Neptune miners have neural implants to help them work in space. We might be able to use those to maintain contact if they're captured. And the colony? President Wilson asked quietly. Admiral Hayes lowered her head. We have to assume they'll take prisoners. On Neptune's largest moon, Triton, Lieutenant Peter Jackson watched the alien ships appear in orbit. The mining colony's alarms were blaring. Everyone to the emergency shelters, he shouted to the miners. Move! Families grabbed emergency packs and ran for the underground bunkers, but Jackson knew they wouldn't all make it in time. His communication device beeped. It was Earth Command. Lieutenant, alien troops are landing. We can't send help yet. If captured, remember your neural implant. We can still communicate through the secure channel. Stay alive. Help is coming. Jackson felt sick. Help was 2 weeks away at best. The first alien ships were already landing outside the colony dome. God help us, he whispered, as the dome doors burst open and strange, armored figures poured in. The alien soldiers wore armor that seemed to change color to match their surroundings. They moved through the Neptune mining colony with quick, practiced steps. Lieutenant Peter Jackson watched from his hiding spot as they rounded up miners and their families. His neural implant buzzed quietly. The aliens couldn't detect it. Earth could still talk to him through the special channel built into his brain. Status report, came the quiet voice of Admiral Natalie Chen directly into his mind. They've taken about 500 prisoners, Jackson thought back. No killing yet. They seem to want people alive. Stay hidden if you can, Chen replied. We need eyes inside. Jackson moved carefully between storage containers. From his spot, he could see the aliens loading people into transport ships. Children cried. Parents tried to comfort them. An alien officer walked down the line of prisoners. This one was different from the soldiers. It wore a red symbol on its armor. Jackson took a picture with his implant and sent it to Earth. Back on Earth, Admiral Chen stood in the war room. The large screens showed the Neptune colony from satellite views. The alien ships surrounded it completely. We've counted 27 alien vessels, she told President Wilson. They have our people and our colony. Can we attack? Wilson asked. Not directly, Chen said. They outnumber us. But we're getting information from Lieutenant Jackson and other miners through their neural implants. The main screen changed to show the alien symbol Jackson had sent. Intelligence says this marks their pacification core, Chen explained. They're taking our people as hostages, not just prisoners. A new message appeared on screen. They're broadcasting to us, a technician said. The screen changed again. Now it showed rows of human prisoners kneeling in a large room. Behind them stood High Administrator Clavor. People of Earth, Clavor said. As you can see, we have taken your Neptune colony. 500 of your people are now in our care. President Wilson's face hardened. Care is not the word I would use. You have refused our reasonable request for tribute, Clavor continued. This is your final warning. Agree to our terms, or these prisoners will be processed. Processed? Chen asked. Based on intel from other species, it means they'll be used for biological experiments, said Intelligence Officer Daniels, who had just entered the room. The Pacification Corps tests their weapons on prisoners. Wilson's hands tightened into fists. We need options. I have one, said a new voice. Colonel William Rodriguez walked into the room. He commanded Earth's Special Forces. We have a stealth ship. It's experimental, but it works. We can get a small team to Neptune. A rescue mission? Wilson asked. Against 27 alien ships? Yes, Rodriguez said firmly. My team is ready. We can do this. Back on Neptune, Jackson had found other miners with implants. They gathered in a maintenance tunnel where the aliens couldn't hear them. Earth is sending help, Jackson told them, but it will take time. Meanwhile, we need to cause problems for our captors. How? Asked a miner named Frank. They have guns. We have nothing. We have our brains and our hands, Jackson said. And we know this colony better than they do. He pointed to the air system controls. We can change oxygen levels in different sections, make some areas too thin to breathe well, slow them down. We can mess with the water recycling too, said another miner, Heather. Make it look like system failures. Good, Jackson said. Small, things that look like accidents. Nothing that puts our people at risk, but enough to keep the aliens busy and confused until help arrives. In the prison area, a young boy coughed. An alien guard approached him. The boy's mother pulled him close, afraid. But instead of hurting them, the guard checked the air vents. Oxygen fluctuation, it said in broken English. Engineering problem. Jackson smiled from his hiding spot. The sabotage had begun. Colonel William Rodriguez looked at his team in the small cargo ship. There were only 5 of them. Each was the best at what they did. One more time, he said. Zoe, explain the plan. Sergeant Zoe Mitchell nodded. She was their tech expert. Her fingers moved quickly across her tablet. This cargo ship appears to be bringing the first tribute payment from Earth, she explained. The Council thinks we've given up. We've filled it with old equipment that looks valuable but isn't. When they let us dock to deliver it, we slip out and find our people. And I'll be monitoring life support systems, said Daniel Harper, team's medic. If the prisoners are sick from anything the aliens did, I'll know how to help them. Kyle Simmons checked his explosives one last time. I've got enough charges to create distractions wherever we need them. The final team member, Sergeant Joe Ramirez, said nothing. He just checked his weapons. He was their combat specialist. "Remember," Rodriguez said, "this is a rescue mission, not a frontal assault. We get our people and get out." The cargo ship approached the alien fleet. Mitchell had programmed it to send signals that made it look like a tribute delivery. After a tense wait, they received clearance to dock with the main prison ship. "It worked," Mitchell whispered. "They believe we're bringing tribute." As soon as they docked, the team moved. Using the stealth technology built into their suits, they slipped past the alien guards who came to unload the cargo. The aliens saw only empty hallways as the humans passed. "Jackson," Rodriguez sent through the neural implant channel. "We're on board. Where are you?" "Maintenance Section C," came the reply. "I can guide you through the ship. Be careful. They have sensors that might detect your tech if you get too close." Following Jackson's directions, the team moved deeper into the ship. They passed alien guards and workers, staying in shadows and moving during shift changes. "Something's wrong," Harper said suddenly, looking at his medical scanner. "These readings, from the prison section, they're not normal." "What do you mean?" Rodriguez asked. "The air has strange particles in it, like some kind of drug or chemical." They reached a junction where they could see into a laboratory. Inside, alien scientists worked with tubes and containers filled with colored liquids. "Recording this," Mitchell said, activating her helmet camera. "That's it," Harper said quietly. "They're developing something. Biological agents, probably to make populations easier to control." "Pacification Corps," Rodriguez said grimly. "They don't just want our resources. They want to make us slaves." They moved on, finally reaching the section where Jackson waited. The lieutenant had gathered 30 miners with implants who could still move freely by pretending to do maintenance work. "The prisoners are held in the big cargo bay," Jackson explained. "About 500 people. The aliens have been taking some for tests and bringing them back acting strange." "Mind control drugs," Harper confirmed, checking his scanner again. "They're testing them on our people." "There's more," Jackson said. "I found their command center. They have high-ranking officers there, including their leader, Commander Drazik. He's in charge of the Pacification Corps operations in this sector." Rodriguez thought quickly. "Change of plans. We still rescue our people, but we also capture Drazik and any other officers we can. We need to know what they're planning." "How do we get 500 people out?" Mitchell asked. "Our ship is too small." "We take their ship," Rodriguez said simply. "Jackson, you said some of your people can fly this thing?" "Yes. Allison Gray was a commercial pilot before mining. She says the controls are different, but she can figure them out." "Good. Simmons plant charges in these locations." Rodriguez pointed to several spots on the ship schematic. "We'll create chaos, grab our people and the alien leaders, and take the ship." Simmons grinned. "With pleasure, sir." "Everyone clear on the plan?" Rodriguez asked. His team nodded. So did Jackson and the miners. "Let's go get our people back." Simmons' explosives went off in 3 different parts of the ship at once. Alarms blared throughout the alien vessel. Confused guards ran toward the explosions, leaving other areas unguarded. "Now!" Rodriguez shouted. His team moved quickly toward the prison section. 2 alien guards appeared in front of them. Before the aliens could react, Ramirez shot them with stun weapons. The guards fell to the floor unconscious. "Clear," Ramirez said. They reached the main holding area. 500 human prisoners looked up in surprise as the doors slid open. Families huddled together on the floor. Many looked tired and afraid. "We're Earth Special Forces," Rodriguez announced. "We're getting you out of here. Anyone who can walk, help those who can't." People began standing up, helping the elderly and children. Hope replaced fear on their faces. Mitchell worked on a control panel near the door. "I've unlocked all the cells. Everyone's free." "Good," Rodriguez said. "Harper, check anyone who looks sick." Harper moved through the crowd with his medical scanner. "Most are just tired and hungry. A few have been drugged for testing. We can treat them once we're safe." Jackson arrived with his miners. "The halls are clear to the main hangar. We can use their own ships to escape." As the prisoners began moving out, Rodriguez turned to Mitchell. "Now for Phase 2. Where's the command center?" "This way," she said, pointing to a map on her tablet. "But it will be heavily guarded." "Good thing we have a distraction," Rodriguez replied. While most of the prisoners headed for the escape ships under Jackson's guidance, Rodriguez led his team toward the command center. Along the way, they planted more of Simmons' explosives. "Set them for 5 minutes," Rodriguez ordered. "That should keep their security busy." The new explosions rocked the ship. Emergency systems activated, spraying fire suppressant from the ceiling. In the confusion, Rodriguez's team reached the command center. Inside, 5 high-ranking alien officers were trying to coordinate their response to the chaos. Commander Drazik, marked by his elaborate uniform, barked orders at the others. "Breach, in 3, 2, 1, Ramirez whispered. Then he kicked the door open. Before the aliens could react, the team fired stun weapons. 4 officers dropped immediately. Drazik managed to reach for his weapon, but Mitchell shot him before he could fire. "Secure them," Rodriguez ordered. "These are our prisoners now." They bound the unconscious aliens and dragged them toward the hangar where the human prisoners were boarding ships. "Lieutenant Gray," Rodriguez called. Allison Gray stepped forward. She had been studying the alien ship's controls. "Sir, can you fly this thing?" "I think so," she said. "The navigation is similar to our cargo ships, just more advanced. I've been watching how they operate it through the security feeds." "Good, get everyone on board. We're taking this ship with us." In the hangar, most of the human prisoners had boarded the main prison transport vessel. Medical teams formed from the miners with first aid training were treating the sick. Rodriguez and his team arrived with the captured alien officers. People stared at the unconscious aliens. "What are you going to do with them?" Jackson asked. "Interrogate them," Rodriguez replied. "We need to know what they're planning for Earth." The ship's engines hummed to life as Gray took control of the bridge. "Course set for Earth space," she reported. "But we have a problem. 3 Council battleships are moving to intercept us." "Can we outrun them?" Rodriguez asked. "I think so," Gray said. "This ship is faster than it looks, but it'll be close." As the stolen ship broke free from the alien fleet, warning shots flashed past them. Gray executed a series of maneuvers that seemed impossible for such a large vessel. "Where did you learn to fly like that?" Rodriguez asked in amazement. "Commercial asteroid mining," Gray replied with a grim smile. "You learn to dodge or you die." In the holding area they had prepared for the alien prisoners, Commander Drazik was waking up. He found himself face to face with Colonel Rodriguez. "Your people will pay for this," Drazik hissed in accented English. "No," Rodriguez said coldly. "You're going to tell us everything about the Pacification Corps, and then you'll pay for what you've done to countless species." The news spread quickly through the Galactic Council. For the first time in over 4,000 years, prisoners had not only escaped but had stolen a council ship and captured high-ranking officers. The council chambers on their central world were in chaos. "How is this possible?" demanded Counselor. "Vraks of the Horthy species." His tentacles waved in anger. "These humans were supposed to be primitive." High Administrator Clavor stood before the council, his blue shell now pale with stress. "The Pacification Corps assured me the situation was under control." "Clearly it was not," said Counselor Ilotha, one of the oldest members of the council. "Now we have lost officers, ships, and face." In another part of the chamber, representatives from some of the newer council species whispered among themselves. They had all paid tribute for decades. Now they watched with secret hope as the humans defied the council. "Is it true what they found on the prison ship?" one asked quietly. "The biological weapons?" Another whispered back. "Yes. The humans released proof to all council species. Our leaders are trying to keep it quiet, but the news is spreading." Meanwhile, the stolen ship approached Earth space. Lieutenant Gray had managed to outrun the pursuing council vessels, though the ship had taken some damage. Inside, Colonel Rodriguez finished his interrogation of Commander Drazik. The alien officer had been resistant at first, but eventually revealed valuable information. 14 species, Rodriguez told Admiral Hayes over the secure channel. They've done this to 14 other species before us. The tribute system is how they conquer, without seeming to conquer. And the biological weapons? Hayes asked. Designed to make populations docile and compliant. They test them on prisoners first, then release them into water supplies or air systems of resistant planets. Within months, the affected species loses the will to fight and agrees to anything. In the medical bay, Harper worked with Earth doctors via neural link to treat the affected prisoners. We can reverse most of the effects, he reported, but it's clear they've been perfecting these agents for centuries. President Wilson called an emergency meeting of world leaders. The Council will retaliate, she warned. We need to prepare. We've already begun, Admiral Hayes said. I've implemented Protocol Chimera. What's that? Asked a European leader. A distributed defense strategy, Hayes explained. We're splitting our forces and resources across all colonies and outposts. No central targets. If they try to strike us like they did Neptune, they'll have to fight 100 small battles instead of one big one. Back on the stolen ship, Mitchell studied the data they had recovered. There's something else here, she told Rodriguez. Records of other species that resisted. The Council doesn't just want resources. They want to eliminate any species that might challenge them in the future. Rodriguez nodded grimly. Then we need to send them a message they won't forget. He walked to the holding cell where Drazik and the other officers were kept. Your council wants tribute, he said coldly. I think it's time we gave them one. 2 days later, the stolen ship appeared at the edge of council space. It broadcast on all frequencies that it wished to surrender. Council ships surrounded it, weapons ready. When they boarded, they found no humans. The ship had been set on autopilot. In the main diplomatic conference room, they found a shocking sight. The heads of Commander Drazik and his 4 officers were placed on the conference table. Beside them was a message in Council standard language. Humanity does not pay tribute. We collect debts. The images spread throughout Council space before censors could stop them. On 14 subjugated worlds, populations saw the message. Hope began to grow where there had been none. On the Council homeworld, panic spread through the leadership. Emergency sessions were called. Military forces were mobilized. We must crush these humans immediately, Clavor demanded, before others follow their example. But it was already too late. On Nivari Prime, a species that had paid tribute for 300 years, crowds filled the streets. They carried images of the human message. Their chant echoed through the capital. No more tribute. No more tribute. Earth was ready for war. Every colony, every outpost, every ship prepared for the Council's attack. But Admiral Hayes had other plans too. We've gathered all the evidence from the prison ship, she told President Wilson. The biological weapons, the records of other conquered species, everything. What do you want to do with it? Wilson asked. Release it. To every species in the Council. Let them all see what their leaders have been doing. Wilson nodded. Do it. Within days, the information spread across Council space. Earth had used the communication codes from the stolen ship to bypass censors. Every planet received the truth about the pacification corps and their real purpose. On Nivari Prime, the rebellion grew stronger. Theren, a young Nivari scientist, emerged as their leader. She had studied the human data carefully. For 3 centuries, we believed the tribute was for the good of all species, she told the crowds. Now we know it was only to keep the Council powerful while the rest of us grew weaker. The Nivari weren't alone. 6 other species began their own rebellions. Council forces were stretched thin, trying to control them all. On Earth, Major Eric Sullivan worked with Theren through secret channels. If we coordinate our attacks, he explained, we can hit the Council from multiple sides at once. My people are ready, Theren assured him. We've been enslaved for too long. Sullivan showed her the Earth battle plans. We'll strike these shipyards first. Can your forces hit these supply depots at the same time? Yes, Theren said. And the Krell species. We'll attack their fuel stations here. Together, they created a plan for a massive, coordinated assault. 7 species would rise up at once, guided by human strategy. Meanwhile, in the council chambers, chaos continued. Junior council members demanded answers about the pacification core. Several members called for Clavor to step down. "This is outrageous," Clavor shouted. "These humans are manipulating you. The tribute system has maintained peace for thousands of years." "Peace for whom?" asked Councillor Elotha. "Not for the species paying tribute." The debate grew heated. Guards had to separate arguing council members. Outside the chambers, protests filled the streets of the capital city. Then came the final blow. A group of moderate council members led by Elotha staged a peaceful coup. They removed Clavor from power and promised reforms. "The tribute system will end," Elotha announced. "We will negotiate fair trade with all species, including humans." But not everyone accepted this change. The hardliners in the pacification corps refused to surrender their power. Their leader, General Vexor, gathered loyal forces at a secret base. "If we cannot control these species through tribute, we will control them through fear," he told his officers. "Prepare the Planet Killer." The Planet Killer was the pacification corps' ultimate weapon. It could destroy an entire world in minutes. They had built it in secret, hiding it even from the council. "We will target Earth first," Vexor said. "Once it is destroyed, the other rebellious species will fall back in line." Earth's intelligence network detected unusual activity at the secret base. Olivia Daniels studied the reports with growing alarm. "They're preparing something big," she told Admiral Hayes. "Energy readings are off the charts." A Nivari spy managed to send one message before being captured. "Planet Killer activated. Target Earth." Hayes immediately called Sullivan. "The coordinated attack must happen now before they can use this weapon." Sullivan contacted Thren. "It's time. Tell your people to rise." Across council space, 7 species launched simultaneous attacks on pacification corps bases and ships. On the Nivari homeworld, crowds stormed government buildings. On Krell Prime, rebel ships attacked council patrols. Lieutenant Commander Adam Carter, who had been at the very first meeting with the council, now captained a hybrid ship named Defiance. It combined human and Nivari technology, making it faster and more powerful than any pure human vessel. "Set course for the pacification corps base," he ordered his crew. "We have to destroy that weapon before it reaches Earth." The Defiance raced toward the secret pacification corps base. Lieutenant Commander Carter studied the scans of the massive weapon that orbited it. "That's the Planet Killer," he said grimly. "It's charging up." His crew was a mix of humans and aliens from rebellious species. They worked together with practiced skill. "We have company," called out his Nivari weapons officer. 6 council ships approaching. "Battle stations," Carter ordered. "But stay focused on the main target. We have to destroy that weapon." The Defiance shook as enemy fire hit its shields. Carter ordered return fire. 2 smaller council ships exploded under the Defiance's powerful weapons. Throughout council space, the coordinated rebellion was working. 7 species attacked at once, overwhelming council forces. On the council homeworld, protesters filled the streets demanding an end to the tribute system. Councillor Elotha, now the acting head of the council, tried to send orders to stand down to all forces, but the pacification corps ignored these commands. "General Vexor," Elotha said over an emergency channel, "stop this madness. The council has voted to end the tribute system. There's no need for more violence." "Weak fool," Vexor replied. "You'll destroy thousands of years of council dominance. I will not allow it." The Planet Killer's energy core glowed brighter as it neared firing strength. Its target was set for Earth. Carter's ship fought its way closer. "We're taking heavy damage," reported his engineer. "Shields at 40%. "Keep going," Carter ordered. "We need to get within range of that weapon." On Earth, Admiral Hayes monitored the battle. "All rebel forces are engaging council ships," she told President Wilson. "But we don't know if they can reach the Planet Killer in time." "What about our defenses?" Wilson asked. "Not strong enough to stop that kind of weapon," Hayes admitted. Our hope is Carter. The Defiance pushed forward, taking more hits. A council cruiser moved to block its path. Carter ordered all weapons to fire at once. The cruiser's shields failed, but the Defiance had used most of its remaining power. "We have one shot at this," Carter told his crew. "Divert all remaining power to the main cannon." As they approached firing range, the planet killer's core reached full power. It was ready to fire. "Now!" Carter shouted. The Defiance fired its main cannon with everything it had. The powerful beam struck the planet killer's energy core. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the core began to destabilize. "Get us out of here," Carter ordered. The Defiance turned and fled as the planet killer's core collapsed. The resulting explosion consumed the weapon, the pacification core base, and General Vexor's command ship. The shockwave hit the Defiance, knocking out its remaining power. The ship drifted in space, damaged but intact. Its crew cheered as emergency systems came online. They had done it. Earth was safe. 5 years later, representatives from 34 species gathered on a newly built space station. It was the 5th anniversary of what was now called the Freedom Rebellion. The old council was gone. In its place stood the Galactic Alliance, built on principles of fair trade and mutual defense. No species would ever again be forced to pay tribute. Admiral Samantha Hayes, now Earth's representative to the Alliance, stood to address the gathered delegates. 5 years ago, we faced destruction because we refused to bow to tyranny, she said. Today, we celebrate not just our survival, but a new era of cooperation between all our peoples. She gestured toward a wall where a memorial listed the names of those lost in the conflict. At its center was an inscription: "We do not bow, we do not break, we do not pay tribute." After the ceremony, Hayes spoke with Theren, now the Nivari representative. "Did you ever imagine this outcome when your people first rose up?" Hayes asked. Theren shook her head. "Never. For 300 years we believed we were alone and helpless. Sometimes all it takes is one act of defiance to change everything," Hayes said. Later that day, Lieutenant Commander Carter, now Admiral Carter, visited the memorial. He thought about that first meeting with Clavor years ago, when the alien had demanded Earth's tribute. How different things might have been if they had simply agreed, as so many others had. "Quite a change, isn't it?" said Ambassador Wright, joining him at the memorial. Carter nodded. "From having our resources demanded as tribute to building this alliance together, all because we said no," Wright replied with a smile. "And backed it up," Carter added, remembering the heads of the Pacification Corps officers that had sent such a powerful message. "Sometimes peace came only after you proved you were willing to fight for it."